Okay, we are live back again, and I am hoping that you guys can clearly hear me. Okay, so let's see who all have come right now, and we are gonna wait. We are gonna wait till around maybe 4 more minutes so that I give a chance for everybody to join in, and then we can start up back again. So yeah, all those who are watching me live right now, just give me a hi in the chat. एक बार chat में hi लिख दो यार, so that I know you guys have come to see me live. Okay, 5 people watching and still not even one hi in the chat. बताओ यार, hi वाई लिखो थोड़ा chat में. Let's see who all have come today. Till then, I'll also open your chats on my phone so that I can answer you guys. Hi Chirag. Hi Prince Rishabh. Good evening, sir. I recently came to know about you and loved how you explained Kruskal's algorithm. Can you please explain Prince's algorithm as well? Yes, Prince. Yes, for sure. Why not? Why not? If you want me to explain Prim's algorithm, why not? So, were you able to understand Kruskal's? Easy. Kruskal's is not that difficult. It's pretty simple. And also, I have two announcements for you today. The first one is that the two questions that I'm going to do today for you guys, I have planned two questions. Both the questions that I'm going to do today for you guys is going to be only Fang centric. Fang matlab Facebook, Amazon, Google, Apple, Netflix. All the questions which are discussed over there. I'm going to do that. Second of all, I have one more secret, not secret kind of an announcement, but a very big kind of an announcement for you guys. And that I will be telling you once I give my introduction and I start my session. ठीक है? And sir, I only watched the first video and I understood. Okay, very good, very good. That's great that you saw one video and you were able to understand the entire algorithm. Also, I will be teaching one more algorithm today, which is the Kadane's algorithm. So please, now there are people who call it Kadane's algorithm, they call it Kadane's algorithm. So do not go on the pronunciation, focus on the topic first, because I'm going to teach you that right now. And it's a very important kind of an algorithm. Like, that's why I kept it in the last, because this algorithm is really very important. So it's a algorithm that's directly being implemented in questions to solve Amazon questions. लो वॉइस है तो अब नहीं होगी लो वॉइस. Now you won't have the. Actually, I used to keep my mic pretty close to me, but then I saw my session the other day, and I realized that the voice starts to buffer up, like it kind of pricks in the ear. when the mic is pretty close. That's why I keep it a little far away now, so that you can hear me well enough. Okay, coming back. Welcome back to the stream, guys. I'm Kabir Singh. I'm an avid coder. I'm the founder at Jigsaw Minds, and I've mentored 25,000 people over YouTube Live, and I have a teaching experience of 1 year. I teach Java fundamentals, C++, DS Algo, Flutter, and Dart usually. And if you want to buy any plus subscriptions or any courses on Unacademy, you can go and have an extra 10% discount directly by using the code Kabir. So I have a very good thing out there, which is a new test hiring platform by Unacademy coming up. That's Relevel. So, there are people who do not get good jobs. They ask for referrals, but they do not have a good network of people who can refer them in different companies. They do not have a good degree of any very tier 2, tier 1 kind of a college, and they apply, and then they do not stand out of the pile of resumes that go up in the companies. So for them, we are introducing India's first test hiring platform that is going to help job seekers to find their dream jobs. So now you can get a job on the basis of your skills rather than depending on which college you went to or maybe what network do you have. All you have to do is apply, and you're going to get a chance for at least attempting a test that is going to help you get jobs in over 50 plus companies which are top startups and unicorns. There are 1,000 plus job opportunities, and the best part is that this test is totally free. You do not have to pay even 1 penny for it. It's going to take 1 day long to give the entire test because it's approximately 3 to 4 parts, and all you have to do is register for Relevel. It's very easy. Go on the website, make an account, log in, check what you want to do. Do you want to go for business development, front end development, or back end development, and select a slot. Slots are limited. Make it fast, and just have one slot on your calendar, and just go create a neat video resume, submit, confirm, finished. All that's all you have to do. ठीक है, तो यार जल्दी करो, बढ़िया चीज है. Go and have a look at it. And लाइक नहीं हो रहा यार. आई जस्ट रियलाइज तुम लोगों ने लाइक नहीं किया. ठीक है, तो जल्दी से लाइक कर दो, बिकॉज it's a good session that's going to come up your screens this time. ठीक है, okay. So we are gonna start a new algorithm today. So the algo which we are going to do today is Kadane's algorithm. Okay, it's a very, very interesting algorithm. Okay, and this time, as it's the last algorithm for the series, I'm going to teach this algorithm in a different way. Till now, I was coming up with algorithms. I was teaching you the algorithm first, and then I was doing a lead code problem for the same. This time, I'm not going to do the same thing. This time, first, I am going to teach you the algorithm, and directly in this very session, I'm going to solve the lead code problem. That's why I've planned 2 lead code problems. One is for your session that is going on right now, and it is related to Kadane's algorithm. The second one is related to your next session that is going to come up, and the next session will be at 6:15. So if you are following my series since the start, we have done approximately first 3-4 problems of lead code, and we are going in a sequence. So we are solving problems on algorithms as well as one sequences which we are following. So both of them are going hand to hand. So that's what I'm going to do today. Which 2 questions will you cover? The first question is question number 53, that is maximum sub array, in which we have a direct implementation of Kadane's algorithm. And the second will be, according to our series, the third problem of lead code, which is longest substring without repeating character. Understood? Say yeah. Chale aage. If you're ready for it, if you're actually excited to do it, give me a yes in the chat. I really want to see a yes in the chat if you're excited. If you're not excited, give me a no. I really want to see how much you guys want to have fun today and how much you want to learn. Tell me. Okay. Ayush Anurag, you're ready. Others? And one more thing. Today that I'm going to teach you, the way I'm gonna teach you is gonna be somewhat a mock interview. Okay. So we are gonna imagine that I am a student who's sitting for an interview. Let me just grab my pen. Yeah. So we're just going to imagine that I am a student who has who is sitting for an interview, and he has got a question. Okay. He has to solve the question. How would I be approaching that? Okay. It's a technical interview, and my interviewer is sitting in front of me and asking me this question. Okay. So, and the question is pretty clear, that I have an array of some elements, and I need to find out that which sub array of this main array is gonna give me the maximum sum as an output. Sounds confusing, does it? Give me a yes or a no. Does it sound confusing? जल्दी बताओ, confusing है? Yes or no? Is it confusing or is it extremely clear? बताओ. So for an example, if I just come up and take an array which is any random array, okay? So it's like -2, -3, 4, 1, something like that. Okay. -2, 5, 1, -3, something like that. Okay. Yeah, I'm explaining it once again. So if this is an array, don't mind the squiggly lines, but if this is an array, I need to find out a sub array. Now, what is a sub array? If you just slice out one array out of the big array, you call it a sub array. So I need to find out a sub array which can have minimum 1 elements or n number of elements. So 1 to n, any number of elements can be there, and that sub array gives me the maximum sum. Means when I add the elements of that sub array, it gives me the maximum sum. Understood? Is this difficult? How many questions will be covered in our marathon? Okay. So how many of you know about the marathon? First tell me that. How many of you know about the marathon? How many of you know about the marathon? Come on, tell me fast. How many of you are clearly aware about what a marathon is and what marathon are we talking about right now? Write a me in the chat if you know what the marathon is. Are you aware about some marathon that is going to happen? Okay. So tomorrow from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. I'm doing a marathon, which means I'm going to code 4 hours live non-stop. Okay. It's going to be non-stop. So generally I come live for 1 hour. I take a 15-minute break. I come live again for 1 hour. Tomorrow, nothing like this is going to happen. I'm going to code non-stop. There might be a possibility that after 2 hours, I take a 10 minutes break, but that 10 minutes break is going to be live. I'm going to go and come back on same stream. It's going to stay live and everything is going to be live. And we are going to solve lead code. Now, I am going to solve the questions from top 100 interview questions of lead code. So the topic is going to be top 100 interview questions. And I am planning to do a minimum of 3 hard questions. That is 3 lead code hard and 2 lead code medium. I'm planning to skip easy questions and just do the hard and medium part. But still I'm deciding on the questions which are valuable. So I will be updating them by tomorrow. Tomorrow 3 p.m. I'm going to go live, okay? Understood? Okay. Chalo. So now this is what is going to happen, that you have to find the sum. Now imagine if I take this as a sub array. The sum is -2. If I take this as a sub array, the sum is -5. Obviously -5 is less than -2. If I take this as a sum, so -2 plus -3 is -5 plus 4 is -1. If I take this as a sub array, the sum becomes 0 because -1 plus 1 is 0. So if I take this as a sub array, this one, so it becomes 4 plus 1, 5 minus 2 is 3 plus 5 is 8. So I guess this is the sub array which gives me the maximum sum. Okay, no, this can be included. This one can also be included. So the sum becomes 9. Yeah? Does this sub array give me the maximum sum? Obviously, yes. Because if I take any other sub array, it is going to give me some random sum, but it is not going to be more than 9. Okay? So this is our question and this is what we have to solve. Understood? सही है? Yes or no? समझ आया? Give me a yes or a no in the chat. Yes. Now what is going to happen, that basically I have to sit in front of the interviewer and I have to give him an approach. And now if I just directly give him Kadane's algorithm, he is going to think ki bhai ye to this is some mug up situation. He has just mugged up the answer because he has solved this question first. So whenever you're sitting in a technical interview, you have to act smart and first start with the naive approach. Naive approach means the basic approach, the very simple and the worst approach that you can have. And that can be that you can iterate the array. And how you can do that? You can have an I. So you can have one for loop for I and you can go from one to another. So what is going to happen, that you can take arrays like this. You can take 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on, go till this. Then you can come up to the next term. You can have one array, 2, 3 and so on. Same goes for the next. You come on 4, you have 1, 2, 3 and so on. Understood? So for solving this, what you are going to do, you are going to have one I that shifts from every element. You're going to have one j that goes from 0 to n minus 1 every time. So when I is 1, j will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. When I is 2, j will again be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. So one for loop for I and one for loop for j. Okay. So the second for loop will be for j and the third for loop will be for the sum. So when you have I and j, the third for loop will take the value of I and j and find I plus j. Understood? कोई difficulty है? One loop for going from every element to another. Second, for going from first to last every time and add that element in the array. And the third for loop for getting the sum. बहुत clear है? It's very simple. Yes or no? If you're not able to understand that, tell me. Yes or no? बताओ guys. Understood? Give me a yes or a no, people. Third loop is necessary. Why? I'm telling you. Just tell me if you understood, right? So now what is going to happen is that the third loop is necessary because it's a naive approach. Naive approach means I'm a very low graded student who does not know much of complex programming. So I'm going to go step by step, something like that. Okay. Moving forward, this is going to take the time complexity of big O of n cube. Obviously, it's going to take big O of n cube because n for I, n for j, and n for sum, and three loops, one in another, will take big O of n cube. And this will result in a very, very bad approach. So the interviewer will be like, come on, just you know optimize this approach. So what am I going to do? I'm going to just take sum equal to 0 in the start. Okay, I'm going to take sum equal to 0 in the start, and I'm going to remove this for loop, and I'm going to iterate the sum together. So one for loop gets decreased, and I come up to a time complexity of big O of n square. सिंपल. हेलो भैया, मैं कितना लेट हो गया? ज्यादा लेट नहीं हुआ यार, अभी जस्ट शुरू किया है, इंट्रोडक्शन चल रहा है, नॉट मच, ज्यादा लेट नहीं हुआ है. ठीक है. Did you understand? So from big O of n cube I went to big O of n square. So what did I do? I removed the sum wala loop, which Supriya was saying is not necessary. Yes, it's not necessary. So from that I went to a better optimized approach, which is not the best, but okay, it's taking big O of n square. And now I need to go to an approach which takes big O of n as a time complexity. Understood? Big O of n time complexity means it goes on in one iteration. एक iteration में आंसर खत्म होता है, या एक लूप से पूरा आंसर सॉल्व होता है. अंडरस्टूड? यस और नो? समझ आ गया? चलो. So what am I gonna do is that basically I am gonna try, ठीक है, I'm going to try and solve this problem in such a way that I take only big O of n time complexity. ठीक है, करे शुरू करे, let's try. ठीक है, वापस से we'll take the same array that we took last time. है ना, यही array लिया था ना हमने शायद. Okay, no, it was 1 5. Iterative dynamic programming algorithm. Yes, it is a dynamic program, iterative dynamic programming algorithm. Chirag, very nice. Okay. So this is my array, and I'm going to solve this using Kadane's algorithm. In Kadane's algorithm, my approach is going to be that I am going to keep track of a sum, and I am going to keep track of the maximum sum, or the maximum value of the subarray. There are going to be certain rules in the Kadane's algorithm that as soon as the sum of my subarray becomes negative, that is less than 0, I'm going to re-initialize my sum equal to 0. समझो बात को. अगर मैं एक array को consider कर रहा हूं, if I am considering a subarray and the sum of the elements of that subarray is less than 0, then my sum will be re-initialized to 0. Understood? समझ आ गया? Yes or no? Give me a yes or a no. बताओ यार, समझ आया? Why so? Now tell me one thing. If your if your entire array contains negative and positive numbers, है ना, तो जैसे ही your array gets into a situation of a negative sum, understand, अगर इस पूरे array में सिर्फ 4 एक पॉजिटिव नंबर है, बाकी सारे नेगेटिव नंबर्स हैं, ठीक है, ये भी नेगेटिव हो जाता है, ये भी नेगेटिव हो जाता है, सो द सब एरे विद द मैक्सिमम सम विल बी 4, क्योंकि इट कैन द सब एरे कैन कंटेन 1 to all the elements of the array, ठीक है. So as soon as my sum goes to negative, I'm going to reinitialize it to 0, so that I do not have to calculate the sum again and again, and I just remove that sub array. अब जैसे ये -2 है ना, अब ये सम -2 हो गया, तो वेट, I'll just ड्राई रन इट. जब ड्राई रन करूंगा तो और अच्छे से एक्सप्लेन कर सकता हूं मैं, बट आई होप यू अंडरस्टूड व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू से, कि बेसिकली if my array contains positive and negative elements, and if my sum goes to negative, I'm going to just escape out of that array or that sub array and delete my sum and make it to 0. ठीक है, समझ आया? चलो, अब इनिशियली मैक्सिमम भी मिनिमम इंटीजर वैल्यू ही होगा, बट ठीक है, जो भी है इसको एक एक वैल्यू दे सकते हैं, मैक्सिमम भी, ठीक है. तो अब शुरू करते हैं, ठीक है, वी कैन कीप इट एज इंट min इन द कोड, and my first iteration will be in this element. My sum here becomes -2, and the maximum value of the sub array becomes -2, ठीक है. तो इसको यहां पे भी इधर इधर मैक्स को ट्रैक करेंगे, ठीक है. तो मैक्सिमम वैल्यू बिकम्स -2. अब मैंने बोला था एज सुन एज वी गेट अ नेगेटिव सम विल रीइनिशियलाइज इट टू 0, बिकॉज ऑब्वियसली इंक्लूडिंग दिस टर्म इन एन एरे इज नो यूज, ठीक है. अब सोचो कि ये ऑलरेडी नेगेटिव है, इसको अगर मैं इंक्लूड करूंगा तो इट्स गोना डिक्रीज द वैल्यू ऑफ द पॉजिटिव एलिमेंट ऑल्सो. इफ आई टेक दिस तो इसका वैल्यू 4 है, बट अगर मैं ये लेता हूं तो इसका वैल्यू 4 - 3 1 हो जाता है. सो एवरी नेगेटिव नंबर डिक्रीजेस द वैल्यू ऑफ माई सम, बट आई वॉन्ट द मैक्सिमम सम. मिनिमम सम नहीं चाहिए, मैक्सिमम सम चाहिए. तो जहां जहां पे नेगेटिव है वहां वहां पे हटाते जाएंगे, ठीक है. दिस बिकम्स 0 अगेन. आगे चलते हैं, we'll come over here on the next element. It's again -3. Now the maximum value will only and only change if the sum becomes greater than maximum. As soon as the sum becomes greater than maximum, the value of the maximum will be equal to the sum, ठीक है. जैसे ही सम की वैल्यू बड़ी हो जाएगी हम मैक्सिमम में उसकी वैल्यू पुट कर देंगे, ठीक है. चलो, अगेन इट्स नेगेटिव, आई एम गोना पुश बैक टू 0, गोइंग टू द नेक्स्ट एलिमेंट. माय सम इज इक्वल टू 4. यहां तक समझ आया? गिव मी a yes or no. yes, यहां तक समझ आया? Now, as soon as my sum becomes greater than maximum, obviously 4 is greater than -2, so the value of maximum will change to the sum. तो -2 की वैल्यू हो जाएगी 4, क्योंकि ऑब्वियसली भाई यहां पे मैक्सिमम वैल्यू -2 आ रही थी. As soon as I shifted to the third element, my value became 4, which is the greatest till now. तो हम 4 दे देंगे उसको, Chalo, moving to the next term. And now my sum will not be equal to 0. And my sum is not equal to 0 means this term will be included. So in the next iteration, I will be including 4 and the next number. Chalo, ठीक है, -1. 4 minus 1 हो गया 3. Sum still did not go to 0, but my sum is still less than 4. ठीक है, तो अभी भी मैक्सिमम वैल्यूज 4 ही है. आगे चलते हैं. -2. 3 minus 2 will be 1. सम अभी भी माइनस नेगेटिव में नहीं गया है, so it will still remain there, and 4 will be as it is because the value is still the greatest till date. ठीक है, आगे चलते हैं. 1 plus 1 becomes 2. कोई दिक्कत till now? If you do not have any issues till now, give me a no in the chat. नहीं है. Now the sum is again not negative, means we will not leave this sub array because this is giving me a positive sum. But the sum is still not greater than the maximum value, so my maximum value remains the same. Going to the next point, from 4 I will be going to 5. 2 plus 5 becomes 7. Suddenly my sum became greater than maximum. So the value of maximum will be changed to 7. Understood? And since the last number is a negative number, we won't be including that obviously because it will decrease the value. Because when we go to the next iteration, okay, obviously we will be iterating once more. We will be going from here to here, but the value becomes 4 again. Okay, so the sub array that we will be returning will be something from 4 to 5, and this will be our output. And this will be our sum, that is our maximum value. And if you see, we have traversed along the array only once. We have just had a straight go through to our array, means we have traversed only once. Means the time complexity over here becomes big O of n. Understood? So this results into the most optimized approach, which can also be termed as your Kadane's algorithm. Understood? समझ आ गया? Yes or no? Come on. If you have any doubts, give me a yes or a no in the chat. बताओ. कोई डाउट नहीं है तो राइट नो डाउट. डाउट है तो लिखो हैव अ डाउट एंड राइट योर डाउट इन द चैट. मैं सॉल्व कर दूंगा. Come on, guys. 15 people watching, and there's just one student who's answering. I want to see answers from everybody. Why for sum is not required in Lakshman? Why for sum is not required in big O of n square? I didn't understand your question, Lakshman. Sir, we will get the result, but how can we predict which subarray we are referring to? Okay, first of all, when you talk about the maximum subarray वाला question ना, एक second मेरे को question दिखाने दो, रुको. हाँ, so when you talk about the maximum subarray वाला question, the output that it requires is this. This is the output that the user wants. 7. So the user or the interviewer does not want the array. He wants the maximum value that you can get out of any sub array in this entire big array. Understood? समझ आया? Prince, is your doubt clear? Lakshman, if you have a question, write it in a little more explanatory way. I'll solve it up. That's not an issue. कोई भी question है, write it up. Any question if you have. बताओ. And come on, guys, hit the like button. Okay. So now we will be coding this problem. Let me just open my alternate ID for lead code so that I can just show it to you. And also for the people who ask why I do not code on my main ID is because it kind of, but I can do it on my main ID also. Never mind, I'll do it over there only. But it's like, I feel that it reduces the acceptancy rate because I have to sometimes give you the wrong code first and then the right code to make it clear, but whatever. So that's why I do it on my alternate ID. Okay. Sir, what if there's a slight change in the question and we need the index of the sub array? What? How will we get that? You need the index of the sub array that gives you the maximum sum. So you need indices or index. There's a difference in that. Can you be a little more clear, Abish? Like, it's a good question. It's a really good question that you just asked. But can you be a little more clear so that I can solve it up for you? Okay, so problem number 53 है ये. एक second. Whatever. Yeah. So maximum sub array. This is our question of lead code. ठीक है. So the question says something like input nums and the output is 6 because 4 minus 2 1, like this is the array somewhat with what we took. So you want the indices. So basically what happens is that to solve this question in big O of n time complexity, we use a for each loop, Abish. So when you use a for each loop, you just straight away iterate in a straight line. So you're not using any I, any j, anything. You're just going from one place to another without tracking the indices. So if you want to give out the indices, you can go with the first approach, and that first approach is ij wala. Understood? So you can go with the ij wala approach and return the value of I, j and k together. Understood? So the first approach that we gave is ij wala, that has big O of n square and n cube time complexity. So you can go around with that example and that way of solving questions. ठीक है? चलो आगे चलते हैं. Let's solve this question now. I'm going to solve it in C++. How many C++ programmers are there in the chat? Give me a yes. Java people write Java in the chat. Python people write Python in the chat. Come on. Batao. How many C++ people we have? Do we have, I mean. Okay. Chirag, you can use the same concept and solve it in Java. Prince, you can also do the same concept and do it in Java. Give me 1 second. I think I'll solve it in Java as well. I'll solve the same question in Java also. ठीक है? अभी पहले C++ में देख लो, फिर Java में भी कर देंगे. But there is any optimized approach? Abhish, I haven't worked on that. See, it's a random question right now. So I will have to work on the approach. I can do that and give you a heads up by tomorrow in my marathon. So you can come up in tomorrow's marathon also and we'll solve questions together. Okay? Okay. Come on, let's go and solve our problem. Okay. So in this problem, we will be directly implementing the Kadane's algorithm. ठीक है, तो शुरू करते हैं यार. एक सेकंड रुकना बस. हाँ. So do you remember what we did? सबसे पहले हमने क्या किया था? The first thing in this question, we took this. Now the people who are watching me from the start, people like, let me see. Okay, only Supriya is the old student over here. Rest all the people are new people. But yeah, people who are watching me from a long time now, I always tell whenever you are solving a problem, just see what was the first step which you did, then the second step and the third step and so on, and keep coding that step one by one. So the bigger problem, that is the Kadane's algorithm, break it into sub problems and solve it. Now when you initialized sum is equal to 0, that's all you have to do. Come over here and just write int sum is equal to 0. And I know that the font size is pretty small. I'll just increase it. Okay? I hope now you're able to see. So int sum is equal to 0. Not a very big problem over here. You can easily... Okay. 1 second. Yeah. So int sum is equal to 0. That's what we did. And then we initialized one more variable over here. What was the next step? The first step was initializing sum and the second step was initializing maxi. So that's what we are going to do. We are now going to initialize our maximum. Simple. Int maxi is equal to, and I told you that we are going to provide it the minimum value. So we are going to just initialize it as int underscore minimum. Not an issue. Yeah. Just intended on the right path. And now we want to directly traverse in a straight line, straight traverse inside our array. And we are going to use a for loop for it. But agar for I is equal to karenge to fir se same problem. So what can we do? We can here implement our knowledge that we did in our foundation course, and we can use the for each loop. And for auto means an auto iteration inside our array of the element it, that is iteration. Are you guys understanding? समझ आ रहा है? Easy है? So for an iteration, for an auto iteration inside our array, a straight iteration inside our array, which is called as nums, because the name of our array over here is nums. So for the straight iteration in the array or the vector, you can say, you are going to use the for each loop. Easy? कोई दिक्कत? बताओ. Understood? Give me a yes or a no and hit the like button if you're still watching the stream and you're liking it, because we are going to reach 30 likes. Come on guys, 21 people watching, hit the like button. Okay, so there's only Supriya who understood. Okay, never mind. So now what we're going to do, we are going to just move forward and just remember what we did. So what we were doing is that while iterating inside our array, let's go and see. So while iterating inside our array, here we were just adding numbers to our sum. Means every time our iteration went from one step to another, we did sum is equal to sum plus it. Yup. तो यही कर रहे थे हम. That's what we are going to code over here. And we are just going to come here and write sum is equal to, या फिर sum plus equal to it. What if array has all negative numbers? Then basically what is going to happen is that we are going to return the maximum sum, which is going to be in negative value. So if it can be, it is going to be one single number. So if everything is a negative number, so I guess -1 or the maximum value of a negative number will be returned. Okay. Okay. So what we did was maximum sum is equal to sum plus it, that we wrote as sum plus is equal to it. And then we said that we are going to choose, if you remember, I told you that if the maximum value is less than the sum, we will update it over here. जैसे ही maximum value से ज्यादा हमारे सम की वैल्यू हो जाएगी, हम मैक्सिमम वैल्यू को अपडेट कर देंगे. ठीक है. इसका मतलब अगर देखा जाए तो मैक्सिमम और सम में से जो सबसे बड़ी वैल्यू होगी वो मैक्सिमम की एट द एंड ऑफ द डे वैल्यू हो जाएगी. इजी. सर हमें कैसे पता चलेगा कि हमें फॉर लूप लगाना है या फॉर ईच लूप? वो तो प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व कर करके पता चलेगा धीरे धीरे. हाय रजत जोशी, लॉन्ग टाइम नो सी, बहुत टाइम बाद आया आप. सो व्हाट वी डिड वाज कि मैक्सी इज इक्वल टू द मैक्सिमम वैल्यू बिटवीन मैक्सी एंड सम, या सम और मैक्सी. मतलब यूजिंग द मैक्स फंक्शन इन C++, मैंने बोला दोनों में से जिसकी वैल्यू बड़ी है उसको मैक्सी की वैल्यू बना दो. ठीक है. अंडरस्टूड? एनी डाउट्स? यस और नो? एंड एक और चीज करी थी हमने, डू यू रिमेंबर? वन मोर थिंग. ओके, यहां पे देखो फर्स्ट. सो मैक्सी इज इक्वल टू मैक्सिमम ऑफ सम और मैक्सी, दोनों में से मैक्सिमम वैल्यू जिसकी भी हो उसको मैक्सी की वैल्यू बना दो. बट देयर वाज वन मोर थिंग जो हमने यहां पे करी थी, दैट एज सून एज द सम बिकम्स नेगेटिव, जैसे ही सम की वैल्यू नेगेटिव हो उसी समय सम को 0 कर दो. एज सून एज द सम बिकम्स नेगेटिव, मेक द वैल्यू ऑफ सम एज 0. ठीक है, कर देते हैं इसको भी. दैट इफ our sum becomes less than 0, sum is equal to 0. ठीक है, understood? And if you check the output, अगर आउटपुट चेक करते हो, so output is the maximum sum. यहां पे 6 है, यहां पे 1 है, यहां पे 23 है. So same goes for us. That's what we have to do. हमें भी यही करना है. यहां पे outside our for loop we are going to come and say return maxi, क्योंकि भाई maxi में ही तो स्टोर कर रहे हैं ना हम. इफ यू चेक दिस आउट, सारी जो मैक्सिमम वैल्यू है वो यहां पे तो स्टोर हो रही है, बिकॉज वी आर चेकिंग दिस आउट दैट द मैक्सिमम वैल्यू आउट ऑफ सम एंड मैक्सी में स्टोर होनी चाहिए. सिंपल. 17 लाइन कोड solves your problem of Kadane's algorithm. Understood? बहुत easy है ये. Are you ready to run it? Run कर दें. How many of you think if I run this problem I'm going to get an error? Variable mistake. कहाँ है variable mistake? Okay, my bad. Sorry. वो गलती से कैप्स हो गया. ठीक है. हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू थिंक इफ आई रन दिस आई एम गोना गेट एन एरर? जल्दी बताओ. हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू थिंक इफ आई रन दिस प्रॉब्लम आई एम गोना गेट एन एरर? किसको किसको लगता है? राइट अम्मी, अगर लगता है कि रन हो जाएगा, राइट नो एरर. 28 people watching. Like the stream. Come on, guys, hit the like button. For all negative, sir, I think if statement is not necessary. Prince, अगर if statement नहीं लिखेंगे ना तो सम 0 में नहीं आएगा और आइटरेशन में एरर आ जाएगा. समझ आई? For all negative array sum is always 0. देखो obviously लीड कोड है, ऐसा तो नहीं होगा कि if I write for all negative array the sum is equal to 0, there won't be an issue because I'll just run it up and show it to you. And हम ड्राई रन भी कर लेंगे अगले सेशन में अगर आपको चाहिए तो. ठीक है, एक बार रन करके देखते हैं. So I hope the code works and it does. ठीक है, यहां पे देखो, अगर मैं इसी कोड को VS कोड में रन करूंगा तो आई गेस आई विल गेट द राइट आंसर. आई टेल यू व्हाई. इसमें होता है क्या? यू कैन गिव योर टेस्ट केस. यूज एग्जाम्पल. ओके, आई गेस नहीं होता. वेट, आई रन इट इन VS कोड. VS कोड में कर लेते, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. ओके, 1 सेकेंड. सर इन मिन क्यों लिया है? बिकॉज हम मैक्सिमम की जो वैल्यू है वो इनिशियली मिनिमम वैल्यू ऑफ द इंटीजर पे सेट कर देते हैं कि भाई तू सबसे छोटा नंबर बन जा और उसमें उसके बाद आई विल कीप गिविंग यू अ गुड वैल्यू. ठीक है, हाँ टेस्ट केस में अपना टेस्ट केस दे सकते हैं ना शायद. अगर मैं इसको चेंज करता हूँ और -4 करता हूँ और रन कोड करता तो कुछ होगा? लेट्स सी, आई डोंट नो, मेरे को नहीं पता क्योंकि मैंने कभी किया नहीं है ये। हाँ हुआ। यू कैन गिव योर टेस्ट केस ना। रुको, अब सारा कुछ नेगेटिव कर देते हैं हम। ठीक है, इसको जूम करूंगा सो दैट यू कैन सी। ठीक है, आई होप यू कैन सी इट नाउ। हाँ, अब देखो, इसमें मैं सब कुछ नेगेटिव कर देता हूँ। माइनस, 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 माइनस। कंस्ट्रेंट तो नहीं है ना इसमें? लेट्स सी क्या होता है, मेरे को नहीं पता भाई। ओके, नाउ सी क्या हुआ। मैंने यही बोला था, याद है, दैट व्हेन यू रन एन एरे विच हैज ऑल नेगेटिव नंबर्स, सो तो जो सबसे बड़ा नेगेटिव नंबर होगा दैट विल बी योर आउटपुट। सो -1 हैज द लार्जेस्ट वैल्यू ऑफ ऑल नेगेटिव नंबर्स, क्योंकि जीरो के बाद पहला नेगेटिव नंबर -1 ही होता है। तो यहां पे हमने बोला अगर सम इज लेस देन जीरो तो हम जीरो कर देते हैं, बट ट्राई एंड अंडरस्टैंड दैट द मिनिमम वैल्यू ओवर हियर, ठीक है सर, दिस कोड विल गिव एन एरर ऑन गीक्स फॉर गीक्स फॉर ऑल नेगेटिव नंबर एरे। एक सेकंड रुको यार, अभी सॉल्व करते हैं उसको। गीक्स फॉर गीक्स पे है क्या? गीक्स फॉर, एक काम करो अबीश, देर इज अ लिंक इन द डिस्क्रिप्शन बिलो दैट सेज शेयर योर कोड विद कबीर सिंह। उस फॉर्म में मेरे को लिंक भेजो गीक्स फॉर गीक्स के क्वेश्चन का। नेक्स्ट सेशन दैट इज इन 15 मिनट्स, 6:15 को आई एम गोइंग टू कम लाइव अगेन एंड हम उसको सॉल्व करेंगे एंड वील सी कि एरर आता है या नहीं। ठीक है, ये लो, एंड द जस्ट सबमिटिंग इट एंड शोइंग इट टू यू, एक्सेप्टेड आ रहा है। ठीक है, सो द कोड हैज बीन एक्सेप्टेड एंड हो गया। अंडरस्टूड? क्योंकि यहां पे वी गेव द टेस्ट केस फॉर ऑल नेगेटिव नंबर्स तो नहीं आया। geeks4geeks.org पे मैं जाके देखता हूँ। स्टूडेंट यार, अब मेरे को पता नहीं है कि यहाँ पे क्वेश्चंस कहाँ होते हैं। geeks for geeks maximum sub array, where do you solve? give me the कोड ना यार, मेरे को पता नहीं है कि कहाँ पे कौन सा, कहाँ पे है इसका कंसोल। ओके, practice.geeks4geeks आ गया मेरे पास। इंट ए है और इंट एन है, वही है ना, सेम ही तो है। वट एवर, वैसे तो नहीं देना चाहिए। कडाने's एल्गोरिथम मेरा अंडरस्टूड फॉर ऑल नेगेटिव, आउटपुट इज 9। ये नहीं देगा एरर, वहां पे हो ही नहीं सकता कि एरर दे दे, बिकॉज द पॉइंट इज दैट हियर वी आर टेकिंग द टेस्ट केस ऑफ ऑल नेगेटिव नंबर्स। अगर आप यहाँ पे रन कोड में देखते हो तो देर आर ऑल नेगेटिव नंबर्स, तो ये एरर दे ही नहीं सकता। जीएफजी का कंपाइलर, हाँ जीएफजी का कंपाइलर, सी ऑनेस्टली आई वोंट कमेंट ऑन दैट क्योंकि भाई मैं करता नहीं, बट हाँ अगर ये बच्चे कह रहे तो हो सकता है देता हो। ठीक है, एंड गाइस लाइक नहीं हो रहा है, मतलब 40 लाइक्स भी टच नहीं हुआ है आज, देख रहे हो आप? ओके, तो सबको समझ आया गाइस? एवरीबडी अंडरस्टूड? आई हैव रिटन मैक्सी फंक्शन पोस्ट इफ एल्स वर्क्स। आई होप वर्क्स, मैंने नहीं लिखा कभी। ठीक है, नाउ द नेक्स्ट प्रॉब्लम दैट आई एम गोइंग टू सॉल्व इज coming back to 100% of Zoom. The next problem that we are going to solve is in our continuation. We have done two sum, we have done add two numbers, we have done reverse integer, but we have not done this one. So from 3 to 6 we have not done any problem. So we'll do this problem now, like in the next session. ठीक है, इट इज समवॉट रिलेटेड टू द प्रॉब्लम विच वी हैव डन राइट नाउ, बट बहुत बढ़िया, बहुत बहुत ओपी प्रॉब्लम है ये। सर बाइनरी सर्च के हाई लेवल क्वेश्चन करवाओ 615 पे। बाइनरी सर्च का 2 क्वेश्चन आई चूज फ्रॉम टॉप 100 इंटरव्यू क्वेश्चन ऑफ लीड कोड एंड सॉल्व टुमारो। दीपेश, आई एम गोइंग लाइव फॉर 4 hours स्ट्रेट, नॉन स्टॉप 4 घंटा लीड कोड सॉल्व करेंगे। अगर बहुत ज्यादा स्टूडेंट्स हो तो मैं 5 hours भी कर दूंगा, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। 5 hours 6 hours जितना बोलोगे मैं यहां बैठ जाऊंगा, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है। बट द ओनली थिंग इज इफ आई हैव 30 to 40 स्टूडेंट्स लाइव, आई गो फॉर 5 hours। अगर वही 17 18 20 बच्चे हुए तो मैं 4 घंटे में बंद कर दूंगा स्ट्रीम, ठीक है। अभी जल्दी से जाओ एंड हैव अ गुड 15 minutes ब्रेक, हैव टी, हैव कॉफी, 15 मिनट में वापस आ जाओ, ये वाला प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करेंगे, ठीक है। चलो जल्दी से जाओ, जल्दी से आओ। क्वेश्चन 2 नॉट डन, क्वेश्चन 2 डन। प्रिंस, आई हैव डन द क्वेश्चन 2 इन सम स्ट्रीम एंड आई डोंट रिमेंबर कौन से में किया है, तो मैं बताता हूं, मेरे को याद नहीं है कौन से स्ट्रीम में किया है, तो उसमें देख लेना जाके। आई हैव डन द क्वेश्चन नंबर 2, इट्स अ वेरी इजी क्वेश्चन, ऐड 2 numbers। ओके सर, लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड फॉर इट। ठीक है दीपेश, फ्रेंड्स को भी लेके आना, इससे अच्छा नहीं लगता, अकेले अकेले मत आना, ठीक है। फ्रेंड्स को भी लेके आना साथ में, ठीक है। चलो गाइस, लाइक कर दो, कम बैक इन 15 minutes। द नेक्स्ट वीडियो विल गो लाइव इन एग्जैक्टली 15 minutes एंड आई विल बी गोइंग लाइव एट 6:15 on the same channel on a different link. If you are there on the Telegram group of my Kabir Singh codes, join it up if you're not there, ठीक है। अगर वहां पे हो तो बहुत बढ़िया, नहीं हो तो ज्वाइन कर लो। Seeing you in 15 minutes. Thank you so much for joining in. Bye bye.